Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new reaction and review. Tonight, guys, I'm taking a look at a martial arts film from 1985. A rather infamous martial arts film from 1985, starring world champion gymnast Kurt Thomas. The movie is called Gymkata, and I'm going to tell you right now, prior to turning on the camera, I knew damn near nothing about this thing. I just recently read everything on the back here, and they do have the courtesy of telling us that this film is directed by a man by the name of Robert Klaus, who they also mention had a hand in Enter the Dragon. And then when you finish reading this, it just sort of sounds like it's Enter the fucking Dragon, only with some fucking gymnastics bullshit mixed in. Now, I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah, I'm kind of hoping that this one is at least that it's at least interesting. So yeah. Oh, and before I get into the movie, I was also looking at the cover here, and I noticed something here. Now, this image here was also the movie's poster. I looked into that, and it's a painting of world champion gymnast Kurt Thomas kicking a pair of ninjas, one of which is holding a gun. I'd like to say right now that I know a little bit about ninjas. I know that the whole thing about ninjas is that they are supposed to be quiet and stealthy. And a machine gun is basically about as far removed from stealthy as you can possibly get. I'm also going to say right now, this thing is promising me gun-toting ninjas. God damn it, I want to see gun-toting ninjas. And if I don't get that, I am going to be a very unhappy man. Now, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Gymkata. Okay, folks, I believe I have just learned something today. I now know something which is far more boring than watching somebody perform gymnastics, and that's watching somebody perform gymnastics in slow motion. Good God, that was fucking tedious as shit, man. Well, folks, I just saw my first fight scene with Mr. fucking Thomas here using his gymnastics fighting, and I'm gonna say this right now. That has to be one of the worst kind of fighting techniques I have ever seen. Because it makes you like one of the easiest fucking targets as you're sitting there doing all of that flipping and shit. I mean, come on, folks. Anybody who has any level of skill could probably fucking whoop his ass in fucking no time flat. All of a sudden now, any fucking hope of like realism or fucking like believability have just flown right out the fucking window, man. Okay, folks. So we have here a bunch of ninjas, all of them armed with sticks and swords and knives, and I should note none of them are armed with guns. I'm not very happy with that. And instead of all of them just fucking, like rushing him and just killing him now, they are all basically just waiting in fucking line for him to take his sweet-ass time whooping up on every single one of them. Oh, wait, there we go. One of them finally fucking struck when Thomas wasn't looking. Thank fucking God, I seriously was... I really was beginning to doubt the fucking intelligence of this film. But no, we have one fucking intelligent ninja and an entire cast of retards beyond that. So, this country, the country which the U.S. wants so they can build a Star Wars defense site here, is a country that is made up of the criminally insane exiled there from some other part of the world. I'm sorry, but if I were the U.S., I would not want to bother with a country which is made up of people who are literally crazy by fucking lineage. Okay, I would probably find a totally different spot to put my stupid fucking defense site and just basically pretend that this bonkers-ass backwater country doesn't fucking exist. But that's probably just me. Now, I would like to state that when they were talking about exactly what the route, exactly what the fucking like route was for this game, they mentioned at one point running through a swamp. They aren't running through a fucking swamp. It looks like they're running through a fucking cornfield. There's a world of difference, folks, between a cornfield and a swamp. Unfortunately, I guess the filmmakers here don't fucking know that goddamn difference. And apparently also this is a country which is also able to grow corn. That's kind of worth noting too, I guess. So it's a race to the finish, and these two bumbling retards are going to stop and have a slap fight next to the fucking river. Sure. That makes total sense. Yeah, total sense. When you honestly are running for your your fucking life, yeah, go ahead and just stop and just have a fucking slap fight. That totally logical. God, fuck this movie, man. Alright, so there's only one person left running in this glorified race. Shouldn't that mean he wins technically by default? And if that's the case, why the fuck is there still almost 17 minutes left in this fucking movie? Why the hell am I almost falling the fuck asleep whilst watching a cheesy 80s action film? And oh, now he's gonna fight off the entire town using just a fucking pommel horse. And for some reason, I have this weird and goofy feeling, yep, what do you know, every single one of them are taking turns walking up so that way he can kick them. Even though they all have really long, like, pitchforks and sickles and fucking like, sickles and shit where they could get them from a distance, they're not going to. Why? Because the person who wrote this is fucking retarded. Well, folks, that was Gymkata. Thank fucking Christ that's over. Okay. I kind of like how this movie starts off, or rather, how the closing credits start off by telling you that this thing is based on some novel. A novel called, and they actually have it written on the back here as well, a novel called The Terrible Game. Well, you know what? Terrible, I think, is a good way to fucking sum up this movie. Oh my god. Okay. Good fucking Jesus. I'm trying to figure out where the hell to start. Okay. I'm going to pick at the low-hanging fruit here. Let's start with writing. Holy shit biscuits. Okay. What the hell can I say about the fucking writing? In terms of story, what fucking story? Alright, now earlier I deigned mention that this thing, at least based on what was written on the back here, reminded me a lot of Enter the Dragon. No, that is a fucking insult to Enter the fucking Dragon. At least Enter the Dragon had a plot, had good acting, had decent action. It was a fucking action film that knew what the fuck it was doing. This thing, on the other hand, it has almost no plot at all. Everything, and almost everything is sort of driven by, oh, why not? Let's just do this. Literally, guys, there is no fucking motivation to any of this. The only thing we have is that our main character, Jonathan, is being sent to this backwater country because the U.S. wants to use its land to build a Star Wars defense station. Which, by the way, just the very fact that they were mentioning the Star Wars fucking defense system just basically kind of screams exactly how fucking 80s this movie is. Okay. So that really is his only reason for being there. Apparently everybody else who also was running in this race, or you know, as it's called in the movie, the game, were also all from other nations, but none of them are ever truly explained why. I'm going to assume one of them is either from Mexico or Spain, simply because his last name was Gomez. However, though, I really couldn't tell you because the fucker didn't have any, you know, like, kind of accent. He looked basically about, you know, fucking, like, white as hell. So, hell, I mean, he honestly could have been from fucking, well, he could not have been from England, damn it, because there was no accent. I'm going to get to accents in just a second. But really, there is like no reason for anything to happen. All right, we have people running through a cornfield, which is supposed to be a swamp, but that's more fucking production problems. Let's get to the writing. We have a fist fight next to a river between two people who are involved in this race, knowing full fucking well that they are being chased, hunted, and killed if they take their sweet time. So they are going to stop everything and have a fist fight right there. Why? Why not? Oh my god, guys, there really is literally no fucking motivation for anything here. It all just happens for the sake of happening, which normally is totally cool in fucking 80s action films, but other 80s action films at least are entertaining to watch because there's at least something going the fuck on. And there is none of that here. It basically is just poorly done action scene after poorly done fucking action scene. The writing is supposed to string all of this fucking together, but we don't get anything which is trying to string any of this shit together outside of this vague story about this fucking race which apparently has happened every single year and is horrifically deadly, and apparently no motherfucking country has ever bothered to go and try to stop this thing before more people die in some goofy bullshit half-assed race that really has no fucking prize at the end outside of, I guess, national pride. And even then, I'm just going to assume that the only prize is national pride. There was nothing else ever mentioned along the lines of what happens if you win the game. Anyway, acting. Dear God in heaven, the acting. I would happily say that the acting in this thing is wooden. But that would be a fucking insult to the entire lumber industry, because to say that the acting here is wooden would be a fucking insult to wood. This acting is absolutely lifeless, and I would like to mention right now, this movie supposedly is set in some far off country. What the fuck was it called? Parmistan? Something like that? Parmistan, yeah. Yeah, wait, I'm double checking on it. Yes, yeah, it is Parmistan. Which apparently is in, like, Southeast Asia. But everybody sounds like they're from fucking Ohio. Except for the princess, who has some kind of a goofy accent, but I can't place where the fuck she's supposed to be from. Literally every other person has no oh wait, there is one other guy who has a fucking accent, and it's one of Jonathan's trainers who sounds so fucking stereotypically Japanese that literally his fucking accent is just is basically a couple of fucking misplaced L's shy of being a fucking hate crime. But hey, that's it though in terms of like accents. And when you're making a movie and it's supposed to be set in some like far off place, you might want to have some kind of like a general accent that carries across all people who live there, instead of just giving your princess an accent that no one else has anything. But hey, that also is part of the whole acting thing. It's like if you know that you're supposed to be playing a foreign character, kind of helps if you cook up some kind of an accent to kind of match that. Doesn't help also that whenever anyone delivers any kind of fucking dialogue, oh my god, they have no emotion. And not only is fucking Kurt Thomas a bad actor, but holy shit, his voice. Guys, when you have your fucking action star, you do not want them to both look and sound dorky as shit. And Kurt Thomas is basically a white Urkel. Okay, that is how fucking dorky this fucking dickhead looks and sounds. By I should mention. So yeah, guys, we have horrible acting. We have piss poor casting, writing that is absolutely not there. What about the fight choreography? Oh dear fuck, the fight choreography. Mind you, folks, the whole gimmick here is that our main character, Jonathan Cabot, played by Kurt Thomas, has this kind of martial art which is a mixture of gymnastics and karate. What happens now then? What the fuck does that mean? Well, that means that Almost every single time that he gets involved in a fight scene, there has to be something which looks like a high bar or looks like a fucking pommel horse, something where he can do all of his little fucking like gymnastic like spins and other goofy bullshit, and everybody, instead of just ganging up on him and just fucking like taking him out in the intelligent manner, everybody is gonna stop and everyone is gonna queue up and let him kick them in the face, because after all, that just seems to make total fucking sense. I have already mentioned exactly how stupid this whole fucking like martial arts practice is, so I'm not really going to dwell on it any further. However, everything which is not Kurt fucking Thomas flipping around and looking fucking stupid as shit is also equally stupid. It's like nobody here apparently has ever been in a fucking fight scene in any film ever. Again, this film was directed by the same guy who directed Enter the fucking Dragon. You would think he'd know a little bit about, how to fucking do a fight scene. But apparently not. Apparently, folks, he just basically let Bruce Lee and everyone else just fucking go at it during the making of Enter the Dragon, and apparently he wanted to do the same thing here, and it ended up fucking disastrous. Oh shit. Oh, and by the way, while I'm mentioning the pasts and futures of all of these people, I would like to talk about the writer for just a minute. I was curious while I was watching this. I was looking up the writer's other credits. I saw one thing which the fucking writer of this god-awful thing wrote after this, and it kind of told me everything I needed to know about exactly what kind of a writer he is. The person who wrote this, his name, I'm going to get the name real quick, is Charles Robert Carner. That is the same man who wrote Larry the Cable Guy's cinematic disaster, Witless Protection. Frankly, after watching this, I have even less hope of fucking Witless Protection being good in any way, as if it's starring Larry the Cable Guy wasn't fucking already the kiss of death. All right, so I've covered the fight choreography, acting, writing. Lighting is okay. Actually, lighting, I am going to praise the lighting here, because most of this thing is shot fucking, outdoors, and naturally that is usually kind of a tricky thing to film in terms of trying to get all of the lighting even and everything, and they were able to pull off that. So yeah, so basically if I had to pick a fucking silver, lining on all this, it's that the lighting's good and the camera works okay. And if you're watching it with friends, it'll probably be fucking hilarious. But if you're dumb enough to watch it fucking alone, it's gonna be torturous. Oh, and guys, how I said I'd be pissed off if I didn't see ninjas toting guns in this film. Yeah, not a single ninja in this film carries a goddamn gun. In fact, also not a single ninja is decked out in this traditional ninja, garb. They are in something that looks far, far cheaper, which tells me that this film was made on a budget that is so goddamn low that even their fucking ninjas look fucking cheap and shitty. Now, for recommendations. I have already stated it. This movie is only good if you've got a bunch of friends and you all just want to spend a night getting totally shit-faced and riffing on shitty movies. That's really the only way you will find any joy in this goddamn thing. Otherwise, guys, this movie is a waste of your time. It is a waste of plastic when it's on fucking DVD. And if this thing is on Netflix, well, that means that it's a waste of hard drive space on whatever server holds all of the Netflix movies and TV shows. Oh, dear sweet fuck. Guys, I cannot recommend this to you unless you're looking for something that you and your friends can watch for a fucking bad movie night, and even then, there are probably far better bad movies you can fucking watch. This thing felt absolutely torturous, and the fact that it just seemed so happy This film seems so happy to be just this blissfully fucking retarded that really it's almost fucking depressing to think about. So I'm going to just stop dwelling on it. Now before I go, Jim Kata did come off of the Amazon.com wish list. The person who sent it in was a guy who sent in quite a few movies in the past. Medio. Yes, you can find his YouTube channel over at youtube.com/user/Medio Surreal, and I am going to, as always, provide a link to that channel. And dude, thank you. I really do want to thank you for sending in this thing, because I had heard a lot of things about this movie, both positive and negative. And by positive, I mean people saying that this movie was just so absolutely hideous it was fucking funny. Unfortunately, I was not able to find any joy out of it. However, if I were watching this with, say, like a bunch of friends who also are really into shitty movies, we would probably have an absolute blast just, like riffing, just fucking like riffing on this thing. However, since I didn't have any friends here, and thanks to the series, I watch everything the fuck alone, this thing was absolutely torturous. But hey, I may hang on to this in case my friends ever want to watch something really, really horrible. I can just throw this thing in. So, folks, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.